What sort of things do you find yourself doing repeatedly? And then what sort of situations inspire you to do something over and over again? Somebody was asking me about time period. This could be something you do one time every year, but every year you do it. Or it could be something you do every week or something you do multiple times a day or multiple times in an hour. Anything that you do over and over again is great. Do me a favor, tuck away those cell phones for me. You can crack out your Chromebooks, your flat computers, or your sketchbooks for this. Either way is fine. Yeah, summer already, you guys. 89. Hey, Henry, your bell when you're ready for the ticket. Who's working on the bell ringing tomorrow? Wondering about something you find yourself doing over and over again. When and why? What do you notice about it? About repeating stuff? I just wrote this one. It's possible we covered our missions in the past, but this is with it. How does it make you feel when you do it? It might be an interesting thing to notice. Like, is this helping me? Is this helping me with my life? I had a friend who did that, but it was like, it wasn't just like her ex, it was like her ex's new partner.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my god, she's still working. I measure up to her. It was kind of my friend's part. She was really not doing well with it. You said, oh, I'm better. Say it went downhill after me.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah.
You're finishing your book or you're still working?
No one. Yeah.
Did you know call me? Was Elgin with the camera? Sorry, you said my name and now you're pretending like you didn't? Is that what's happening? Very confusing. Okay, alright. Nobody can really walk away. Sydney, you're trolling.
I promise I do.
You're not trolling me.
No, I think you're saying
Someone's trolling me. And I think it's also you. Nobody else is speaking.
Okay, I'll stop speaking. Please. I come to school every day being smart and that makes
Whether you're very tired of it, after getting that, I will probably not do that until a little bit later. No, a bunch of your teachers, including myself, got emails from Dr. Ross this morning being like, oh my god, there's no grades in Power School, there's no grades in Power School. There should be grades in Power School. The stuff is set up this week. I don't know what's up. So I hit up IT. Your grades are always most accurate in Schoology. At the end of every marking period, I override Power School if I need to. Hopefully it just syncs, but for some reason, everybody has like a 0 or 100 or nothing at all.
What's up, Kim?
No. No.
submitted it, and now it's really important that I grade it. Yes. You gotta know that like if I gave you like a week or two to submit something and then I put zeros in, I'm not motivated to quickly grade things that people submit. Like I will grade them eventually, especially before like they do interim progress reports. But in terms of doing it right now, probably not. Probably not. All right, friends, so it's time on the bell ringer. I wanted you guys to think about things you do repeatedly, especially as we work this week on our mindful choices. Some of you know I like to roller skate, and I was thinking yesterday when I was out roller skating, there's this thing I do repeatedly where I'm roller skating in the street, right, where cars drive, and I'm trying. My number one goal is to not die, ultimately. My number two goal is to like get the most time like Ruben skating in the biggest part of the street as possible, especially because Williamsport so hilly.
I was gonna ask if you skate back.
Yeah, but not well, and only on a level surface. But I'm like skating up and down hills, right? So it's really helpful for me. Anybody skateboard? You know, when you go down a hill, it's like it's helpful to be able to kind of carve across the hill at a wider distance, as opposed to if you're like on a little tiny path, you're going straight down. Like there's no chance to slow yourself down. Anyhow, I'd like to pick up as much of the road as possible, but I also don't want to die. So if I see a car coming, I'm going to move myself. But often I find this happens over and over again. There might be a car, it looks like there's a car coming, so I like stop, I move to the side, I restrict myself, and the car is turning like blocks away. Like I move myself unnecessarily. I never needed to move. We were never going to intersect, but I kind of assumed they were going to need to be where I was. I started restricting myself unnecessarily. And this is a sort of habit in my own life I've noticed. Like, when do I keep myself in? Why do I hold myself in? Because I think somebody else is going to have a problem with me taking up space when I don't need to do that. And I think it's helpful to notice that. What sort of things did you guys do repeatedly? And what do you notice about them, Jalil?
Like once I get on the bus, after I walk from the bus stop, I notice I get on my phone like immediately and like open my social media. So I feel like
It's sort of like automatic, it sounds like. You're not even thinking like, oh, let me open my phone because I need to do X, Y, and Z. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm here, I do this. Kind of like a built-in habit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. You're saying it's not necessarily healthy. What would you want to do instead?
I'd probably just not be on my phone. I don't know. But that's what I said. Not
Want to spend less time on your phone? But you might need something to fill in the gap. Otherwise, the phone's just going to be the thing that comes right back out. Anybody else care to share? What's something you do repeatedly? What do you notice about it? Anybody else care to share? Remind you want to share? Something you do repeatedly. What do you notice about it? So you proceed your speech with a little word kind of meant to give your brain a time and chance to start figuring out the actual words. Well, I do that. Like, hey, hold on, say, do that. What do you say, Emerson? Did you like to call a friend? Did you like to call you a friend? Anybody else? Something you do repeatedly, and what do you notice about it? Mason, you want to share? Something you do repeatedly, and what you notice about it? Come to school. And what sort of situations inspire you to come to school? To learn, you're excited. You're like, okay, today going to Armstrong's class. We're gonna learn a little bit about photo digital media. Excited to be there.
anything else there, anything else that you wrote? No. No?
You're reading his response. You feel like that was not really encapsulating it.
No.
He's got more. Yeah, a lot of people don't always share everything they typed up, but they have shared it by typing, so you can all read it. I haven't read them yet. Only the handwritten ones. All right, friends. Anybody else want to share? Okay, so let's talk about what's going on today. First up, let's recap what's due Monday in Signs of Spring. Your photo prompt of the week. One nice photo. Anything out in the world. Don't wait too long because eventually it'll be signs of summer, right? You need to take these photos as soon as you time of spring. Pick more than you need, so you can pick the best, and you only need to submit one. Then the other one that's due Monday is mindful choices schedule assignment. Write yourself a big headline on a page of your schedule, mindful choices. This week I'm asking you to pay attention to choices you make, why you're making them, what you're telling yourself, things you find yourself doing over and over again. I think it's really helpful to understand why you make your own choices. That way, if you're like, oh, this choice I'm making is actually not helping me, you can understand why you make it and figure out how you want to make a different one. Like maybe I don't need to keep restricting myself. Maybe I can like give myself another block before I turn before a car is coming. Okay, and then today we've got some work time, and what do we want to work on? Well, first of all, yesterday we did this shutter speed movement lab. If you were here or if you were unable to get both photos, I do need you to have two photos and your 3 to 5 line reflection. Some of you are able to submit both, and I graded yours. If yours isn't graded, it's because I was missing something. Maybe your reflection, a lot of people submitted 2 photos and no reflection. You can open up that assignment and leave it as a comment. That will work for me. Or maybe you still need to take another photo. If you were unable to get both photos, you'll probably want to go out into the hallway and take 2 more photos. Let me know if you need to do that. Take care of that first, please, and thank you. Then, if you haven't yet finished your packaging project, I know a lot of people still have their product all painted, ready to go, but we still need to do a few more things on that. Let's take care of that next, your assembled packaging project. Once you're all caught up with that, friends, we got work time on the zine project. There are many, many ways to work on a zine. You can, as I did for this one, you can design it all digitally. And if you want, I put now in this week's folder, my zine project folder. There is 2 tutorials for folding, the one that we did all together and this one that we did not do all together, which is a double-sided one that involves stapling and cutting. I've got PDF templates for both. So maybe you're like, I want to do this and I want to design it on the computer. You could take this template and open it on Photoshop or Illustrator. I'd make a new layer so eventually you can delete this file itself. But then you can be like, oh, this is going to be my front cover, so let me orient it right. Let me orient it right. Eventually, you want to have a digital file we can use. Even if you do this on paper, you can collage and scan it. As long as we have a digital file that we can print multiple out, I'm happy. So say you want to design something on paper, you might want to start planning on small paper. I cut up a bunch of graph paper. This is the size of one single page on the 8-page single-sided sheet. And I have personally, I think it's probably this one, this zine that I made. I designed this by hand this way. It's actually double-sided, so I can't take it all apart, but I can drop it on the floor. I designed that one with little pieces of graph paper, and here in this image you can see I've got them all. I just did them one by one until I had 16, and then I used my little template here to kind of orient them correctly. I went over this. I think I used this first, and then I digitized it using an iPad. If you want to use Procreate on an iPad with an Apple Pencil, that's a choice. We've got them. If you want to use a Wacom tablet with a computer to draw right on the computer, that's a choice. We can make that happen. If you want to go through some of the magazines we have and do some collaging, cut things out, that's a choice. We have them. And we also have, let me see if I can find these quickly. What did I call it? Patterns? I've got a bunch of scans of these patterns from this old 80s book my friend let me borrow that graphic designers used to use. That is just like background, essentially. Stuff like this. We can print some of these out if you want to like type up something on the computer, cut it out, paste it on top of just a sort of generic background. I've got a bunch of these patterns we can look through the computer too. So anyway, there are so many options. It's really open-ended. It's really important that you keep it appropriate for school and that you make a fully complete zine that has at least 8 pages. You want to consider the margins of each page so your pages aren't accidentally bleeding into each other or they're not like getting cut off with the printer. But other than that, it's pretty open-ended. Does anybody have any questions about the zine project? Liberty. Anybody else questions about the zine project?
No.
All right, friends. And so first we want to take care of the photo drill from yesterday. Then we want to do the packaging project. Then start working on the zines. And there are some little papers up here. You're welcome to grab some if you need them. And if you want to work at a bigger scale, if you're like, well, I have a lot to do, it'd be cool to do like quarter sheets. I've got some sheets that are quarter sheets and half sheets there. You can do that too. Let me know. It'll take a little bit more finesse. Yeah, I would say maybe like airdrop a template to it if you want to. I think anybody in this class can use iPad. So just I've got students using the same iPad in other classes, so I don't necessarily other manufacturers appropriate. Okay, let's do a quick crash course. So Procreate here.
Dang.
Gallery and then have this part.
His first name?
So I would bring in the template so you know exactly where the lines are. Yeah, you can download it from the app in your computer and write it. And then you want to make sure that this pencil is paired with this line. So I open this up here and then it should be right here. So now I can unplay it and it should be fine. So the Apple Pencil. And then say you draw something in the program and you need to draw that that will undo whatever you just did. And it goes, I didn't mean to do that. You can three fingers off, that'll bring it back. And say you're like working, you're trying to get over here, but all this stuff is in your way. If you put more fingers back, it'll put five into things. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Then you can do
You know what
brush size. So say I want a bigger stroke with my brush. So maybe Alright. Wait, do we need to print something? Does it need to be on stiff paper or is it getting glued on cardboard? Getting glued on cardboard, yes. Where's the template? Open up the zine project folder in this week's folder. Is it what it be today for? This week's folder. Oh, okay. Cut that or try to break it off. Yeah, that's it. Leave the download people. Yeah, hold it down. Something to figure out which layer. The numbers will stay on the layer it's on, so you want to work on a different layer, and then you can just use those numbers to help you orient and figure out where to give on the front, cover, back, that it'll all stay, so eventually you'll delete the layer with the template in it. You're just gonna use it to figure out where to go. Okay. No, I don't have one. I don't know what one. See whatever we've got going on here. If you have plastic bubbles, you can design or backer, but if you don't have We've got a lot of mesh, and you can do one of those tops. I don't know how we would do real quick. What? Where do I airdrop you? Where do I always airdrop you? I don't know where. The name of your product, make sure you got your company logo, and then any other imagery that'll help kind of sell it, and your slogan, like what's the short phrase? That's the essential for it. Yep. So when you're ready, you can upload it there, but it will be created in the marketing area. I will want you to upload it there just because I can download it from there, but yeah, you can find it a little bigger. I'd start with like a rectangle, something that's smaller than like a page. Okay. How do I do that? Okay, so you're not downloading, right? So okay, so Finder and go to Finder, new Finder.
You're unemployed, bro. I'm unemployed.
I open up the layers and double check. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna press layers and then Lily, you need some help? You should have uploaded a three assignment that says product packaging, print ready packaging. Alright, looks like you still need to upload it there. You might upload it to the wrong. Okay, so did you glue it on already? Oh, yeah. Okay, so we glued it on your list. Before you come to home, I want to figure out exactly where. So what I want you to do is insert the packaging at the top of your finger. And make sure, like, I inject this enough that it can, like, be crooked if it's going to hang crooked. You can figure out exactly where you can hold it so it won't hang too far on one side to get it to that assignment part. And then once you've got that, Emerson, notice the hole here is like a big hang hole, and you want to push this so far down on the cardboard that it won't go anywhere. If you don't, you might end up with
The whole thing
right, like
to this. Do it
if you don't go hard down enough, you're gonna get like this sort of situation. And you'll get that. Alright, Maya, you calling me? At all? He's not working? Is that going to disappear? So I just have to write over it? Yeah, and if you want, you can like reduce the opacity on that layer so it's pretty much see-through. Like eventually you'll delete it, but it won't disappear on you. Oh, so I can reduce it. Okay, give me a second. A bunch of people need help trying to make something. or Gillette, what's going on?
How do I open my? I wish I would be able to wash my hands. I did. It's not.
Yes. That is the place right here. California.
No, bro, you're dumb.
You're
Oh, Canada.
you're dumb. Toronto's Canada, right?
Yeah.
He said California. He said California. LA is California. Every sister is Toronto is not.
Yes, Toronto is in Canada.
Toronto was like,
Yeah, and ultimately, you're gonna want to see it say,
alright, don't even matter. We're Portland.
and you're gonna need another one.
Oh,
Yeah, yo.
Portland is Oregon.
What'd you say, Portland? Trailblazer. I'm tripping, you're right.
Add expedited type. Rotate it, keep it on top, keep the planning and the tracking.
What is that what I said?
No,
Orlando.
oh, yes, okay. Keyboard not rotating, nothing.
I've been to like 3 states. I've been to New York, Massachusetts,
Anybody else waiting for a little help from me right now?
North Carolina, Florida, Texas.
This, so I was looking at Monday. So this is what I'm gonna do now, is to kind of like and to figure out like where, by how many years, right, we're back here. And then you want to make sure you go down, way, so that you don't accidentally.
Massachusetts. Like road trip?
Yeah, I was
Florida and Texas,
So
we
now
can play everywhere else on the road.
I was gonna ask.
What's up,
Are
y'all?
we spending a photo that we took of somebody who already?
Yes, that you took of somebody, so you didn't get your own photo. So you submit a photo, you
How are
took
you?
someone else.
How long those days?
Thank you.
And this is like in the summer. They won't do something. We either have plans going to Florida or we have a plan to go to
So,
North Carolina, Florida, we do it for. If we're going to Florida, we're driving. We're driving either place. Because we don't have enough money to get a plane. Well, when it comes to
and then
the gas, that's
if you want, like, can highlight it, you have a little A to the font size.
I think it's like that. I have to check our back.
Me too.
We have to take more than the pack in and drive in. Like the bug. Depending on the fit. We don't have it. Like we're how are you gonna spend the money to do it? It's gonna take a lot, yeah. It's hard. Our car's not even regulated, we the same. So then you're gonna need more trouble, more money to get home. We have to get a car first. Okay,
You steal somebody's car.
no, like our engine, we don't have brakes. All we have is ceramic brake clean. We don't have brakes.
Mason. How do I put 2 photos in here?
I've been here
How do I put 2 photos in one?
Me personally, I want to go to
The second one that you said about the same person for the same event at the other. Yep, so one should be, one should be, one should be like much higher.
No, man.
How you holding up, Rylan? You napping on me? I wish I could be napping too, honestly. This morning I was like, oh my
How
god.
do I put 2 photos in here?
What'd you say?
How do I put 2 photos in here?
Why are you trying to put two photos in there?
Put 2 photos. Put both photos in here.
Why are you trying to do that? That's not something I'm asking you to do. I want you to upload both photos to the assignment.
Oh,
Mason.
Where's the pictures to the Zoom set?
To do the beans, do you want a new template?
I don't know.
You were here the day we did it?
No, I was. I just couldn't do it. Because we're like,
You didn't do it?
You was out the bathroom and came back and you were like, where'd it go?
Okay, so here's one I already folded. If you want an unfolded one, I can get you one quickly.
just like acre.
Yeah, it's like, did you see any of the zines on my zine rack over here, or did you get a chance to look at any of the zines I passed
Hey,
out
guys.
today?
Yeah, I was looking at a couple of them.
Yep, so the topic is up to you, whatever you want to make the zine about. The zine is kind of like magazine. Can you talk about the reason? You can use the bathroom after Sienna. You would need cardboard down.
or
Yeah.
what?
He said,
What game?
Diablo. Yeah, okay. That's not even. Kevin Bacon do it. Did you hear that this year ex-girlfriend?
No.
dang, she already folded you.
So this box will be the back, yes, and that will make the, wait, I'm looking at the lines. Oh, okay. I was thinking that it would be like the paper this way. So. It's gonna be super duper wide, one kind of plenty with your product. You could maybe put an object transform page.
No, it's really just so clicking on the phone, hold this meeting to this time for
That makes sense, like this one,
choose your
get here,
favorite,
and then whatever next
upload
one.
this to the timeline. It should be photographed by you.
Under there, what's going on here?
What's that, Dan?
Anything else different one from your end? You wanna get some stuff happening on the back, and then, yes, you can submit it to the, as a PDF to the assignment
I don't got no packaging.
You gotta go and get some coffee.
Huh?
Alright, so it's gonna say the same thing as the front, right, there'll be a little bit of information on the back, like maybe a warning, don't. So if you want to remove this, you could even just put on this black arrow.
Can't even open it. Look at you, bro. You did it wrong.
Now. Wow.
And then I make sure the top and bottom touch. Like the rectangle for them. Oh, the side view. Yeah, let me grab
Did you fold yours yet?
I didn't
Wait,
put it
what
properly.
camera?
Huh?
Already?
Yeah.
Doing testing.
Cool.
I didn't already have a mistake.
I don't know. What?
And again, I wouldn't work directly on the template, I'd work on some paper that you could like based on the template, use it to kind of plan where pages go.
Well, like who's the
Nobody.
your brothers?
No.
Oh, it's
You know, I was asking like if this is good.
looking good. Looks like you got it cut as necessary and fold it up, perfect, yes. So that will make you a one-sided zine, 8 pages, and then you gotta figure out what do you want, like, your design. So you can do right on a paper like that, you could plan 8 pages. You see how I did this with the back paper up here? You could plan each page, you know, maybe you've got 8 of them and then figure out where they all need to go. What I did is I took mine all together like that and then I scanned them and then I used an iPad to digitize them to like trace everything and type and stuff. But you could also use Illustrator or Photoshop or anything else.
The
Do
guys
collage.
did
Yep. Yeah, fine.
No, no, gang. I'm 16.
Huh?
No, gang. I'm 16.
Huh?
I'm 16.
You said no gang?
No, gang.
No gang?
No, gang.
I'm 16 too, bro.
Senior bro.
Why are you running? Oh, I forgot.
Then let it dry and then trim it and then put a couple on and then put a couple on.
How does she tell you your credit term wrong?